pressure intensifies before the breakthrough. You will feel overwhelmed. You will feel pressed, and you will feel under spiritual attack. 2 Corinthians 4:8 says this: we are hard pressed on every side, but not crushed, perplexed, but not in despair. The enemy fights us the hardest when you're the closest to stepping into what God has for you. And so, family, I want you to hear me very clearly. Walk heavy. Don't allow the opposition. Resist the resistance. If you're dealing with resistance and the enemy's coming at you and unexpected things are coming at you, I want you to go harder. I want you to fight even stronger. I want you to swing even harder. I want you to believe in God even more, because the more opposition, the more of a threat you are. So become more of a threat. When the enemy's walking heavy, I'm like, listen, I might not have any strength in my legs, but guess what Sam gonna do? Sam gonna sit here and Sam's gonna keep swinging. Sam's gonna still sit here and come on a platform, and I'm still gonna talk about God. And what? And I'm still gonna do the podcast. And what? And I'm still gonna create the content. And what? And I'm still gonna go in front of people, and I'm still gonna talk about the goodness of my Savior. And what? I'm still gonna do it. I may not have strength in my legs, but I'm still gonna do it. And what, enemy? I'm still going to do it. I'm still going to do it, because guess that's where I'm at with it. So I tell you now, walk heavy. Walk heavy. And guess what God has done? Because every time I've done that, God comes through and he's like, you know what? I like this little mixed girl from New Jersey. I like how she thinks. She a fighter. I like fighters. Yeah. Yeah. Well, you created me like that. And I've seen, it's funny because I've had people come to me and they say, Sam, your obedience is inspiring. Because I don't think we've seen people walk like this. And, you know, I'll be honest with you. I didn't know people who did walk like this. I didn't know this was a real thing. I think a part of me didn't believe in the supernatural like that. It wasn't until I started experiencing it that I can sit here and tell you how real it is. So I'm telling you to walk heavy. Be radically obedient. If God tells you to make the phone call, make the phone call. God tells you to text. God tells you to leave. God tells you to go. God tells you to stop. I'm telling you, be radically obedient. Walk heavy. Because with your obedience, you don't understand. Sometimes we think God is just trying to take something from us. God isn't the enemy's not trying to take anything from us. God's not trying to take anything from you. He's trying to propel you into purpose. He's never taking something from you. He don't have something better to replace it with. The only reason why if God is removing you from something, he has something better in store for you. Period. He don't remove without having something better in mind for you. He doesn't want little, inferior. He does exceedingly abundantly above all that we could ever ask, think, or imagine. That's how God rolls. God don't, anything God has for you is superior to whatever you have for you, whatever you choose for you, whatever you think is for you. So anything God has removed you from, any relationship God has removed you from, any person that no longer rocks with you, anybody that don't pick up your calls no more, anything that God has removed you from, thank him. Say, thank you, God. Thank you. Thank you, because you're about to bring me something better. You're about to work this thing out in a way that benefits me. I'm about to get double for my trouble. Every situation that seems impossible, God is about to do something better. God is about to bring something new. God is about to bring people sitting here laughing. They saying to you, I don't see how you gonna make it through this. I'm so sorry, bro. I'm so sorry, sis. I don't see how you gonna get the husband. I don't see how you gonna get the wife. I don't see how you gonna get the job. I don't see how you gonna make that dream happen. I don't see how you gonna do it at this age. I just don't see how it's gonna happen. And I'm gonna tell you right now, God said, listen, watch me. Watch me work. Because they're limited by worldly wisdom. I am supernatural. I do things in the impossible. I work in a realm you don't know nothing about. So if God is calling you to do something, do it. Don't delay. Don't allow your mind to overthink it. Don't allow the enemy to cause you to think about the past and the trauma and this and that and discourage you. Walk heavy, family. Walk heavy. If you're afraid, do it in spite of being afraid. If you're nervous, do it in spite of being nervous. Because everything God calls you into, he has a provision for you. He has a provision for you. Everything, every area God has called anybody in the Bible, he had provision. Every single area. In the wilderness, he created provision. David in the wilderness, he had provision. Abraham, when he went to the land of Canaan, he had provision. When Joseph went to where he went, he always had provision. There's always been provision. He will provide for you. So wherever he's calling you to, he's already prepared a place for you. Israel, when they were calling out to God to deliver them from the Egyptians, right? And they're like, God, please give us a deliverer. Please, God, give us somebody that can save us from the hands of this Pharaoh. And God starts talking to the answer. They're praying about the problem. They have no idea God has already started talking to the answer. So some of y'all are praying about things and are worrying about things. God's already provided. God's already made a way. God's already talked to the answer. God just needs you to take the steps. He just wants you to walk. He wants you to walk heavy. He wants you to walk without seeing. You don't need to see it. God says, go here on Wednesday. You're like, well, God, I don't have a reason to go on Wednesday. I mean, why would I go there on Wednesday? I'm going to look like a complete fool going there on Wednesday. God's like, go anyway, because I've qualified you. Family, there's been times God has called me to do things, and I'm like, God, I don't know about this. I remember there was somebody, I'm going to give you a story. There was somebody that I was I'm working with, my coach, and we were going back and forth, and she had given me the pricing for the coaching packages. And at the time, I didn't have it. I let go of a source of income God had called me to let go of. He didn't want me to work with male clients anymore, one-on-one. And I let it go, right? So I was like, fine. But that was an income, right? So from there, I'm going, and now I'm letting go of an income that he told me to let go of. I'm letting go of promotion. I was doing promotions for fitness brand, peptides. I was doing a hair promotions. I was doing all these different things. God told me to stop it. I stopped it. Right? God told me to stop doing certain types of content. I stopped doing certain types of content. God told me to stop posting certain. So I'm doing all these things. And then he asked me to bring on and pay for something else that I'm no longer getting paid more for. So I'm like, okay, God, if you want me to do the coaching, that's fine, but you're going to have to provide because I don't have it. So she tells me the pricing. I'm like, God wants me to do this. I know this. So I feel peace about it. But then God tells me, pay her more. I'm like, wait, hold on. Pay her more than her listed price? Why would I do that? But it just kept coming up. And I know it's on the enemy. Enemy's not going to ask me to be generous. I know it's not me because I don't want to give no extra money like that. So I know that if it's coming up and it's calling me to be something that is a fruit of the Spirit, I know it's God. So I decided to tell her, I said, listen, I don't know. I have this weird feeling that I need to pay you this amount of money. And I'm going to pay you this in the next 10 weeks. She texts me back and she's like, I've been praying about that. She's like, and I guess I have been disobedient. God, she had actually been talking to God about the number that God told me to pay her and the number she was charging me. And she was between those two numbers, but she didn't want to put out the number that I said because she was afraid that people wouldn't pay it. And so God had used me in a situation where I didn't know she was fasting and praying about this and went with the one that was safer. But God had used me and prompted me, making me think like, why would I pay her more? I don't understand. So I had to take the step of faith and say, this is the amount that God is telling me to pay you. And she's like, oh my gosh, Sam, you hear God. I was just dealing with that. I guess I was disobedient. She's like, well, I didn't want to pay nobody that. I didn't think anybody would pay that. I can't make this stuff up. I can't make this stuff up. There's been times where I knew somebody was, I was on the cruise. I remember this one woman, and God utilized her because I knew specifically she was the plug. Okay. This woman was getting us and allowing us to see things around. And so one day I'm saying to myself, okay, I was praying that night, and I just knew we were going to be going off we were going to go off the ship at the same time. And I was like, well, God, I want to do something different. I don't want to do what she's doing. I want to do this. And God was like, yeah, no, you're going to be with her. Well, she told me she was getting off the ship at 6 a.m. Well, you know your girl. Y'all know me. I'm working out. I said, I'm not going off until I work out. So I worked out, and I got ready, and I was taking my time. I got myself together, got my daughter together. We start going downstairs. And I'm going all the way down, and I'm like, oh, man, they closed down the gateway. I have to go back up the stairs. As I'm looking to go back up the stairs, guess who's coming down the stairs? The very woman that God told me the night before I would be going on the trip with. But she didn't leave at 6 a.m. I said, what happened? She's like, you know what? This has never happened. I don't know. I just was moving slow today. I've never done this. I go up the stairs. I'm like, we still don't want to do the same thing. So I'm not really sure. So we get off the boat. I try to do the same thing. I try to go find the place that I thought I want to go to. I'm doing all the stuff. And she goes to where she's going to. She knows she's done this before. She's been off this port. She knows exactly where she's going. I don't follow her. I try to make my plan happen. My plan ain't happening. No matter how hard I want it to happen, it ain't happening. I'm going back and forth. I'm like, okay, whatever. I give up. So I go in the direction she's at, because I already knew God wanted me to do that. She's sitting there. She's frustrated. I'm saying, what happened? She said, they wouldn't let me on the last boat. Now I had to wait 30 minutes. She's like, the boat hadn't even left the dock yet, and they still wouldn't let me on the boat. She's like, I'm over here screaming, yelling, and they will not let me on the boat. And they had all the space. They had all these things. And I knew why. Because God knew his hard-headed daughter was going to be sitting here trying to make her plan happen. But he had already told me I was supposed to be with her. So he literally held her up so that I could go with her. And I did. And I told her, I said, you know, it's so funny. God told me that we were going to do this. She's like, that's why I couldn't get on the boat. I knew it was something. She's like, I was right there. She's like, why? I just could not understand why they wouldn't let me on the boat. And I knew why. And when I told her, it made sense to her too. She's a woman of faith as well. And it made sense to her. I'm saying this to say, family, God's plan supersedes all things. I'm the same person that when God told me to not pay a bill, and I'm like, God, I don't believe God for bills. That's not my thing. That's not who Sam is. And so I stop. I go to the mailbox and I wait till the day of. And I'm like, but I knew something in the spirit just told me it was okay. I had peace about it, even though this was an uncomfortable situation, but I was walking in crazy faith. I didn't try to make it happen. I didn't try nothing. I go to the mailbox. I kid you not, there's one check in there. That one check covered not only that bill, but every bill I had at that time. I'm telling you, family, that when you start walking in crazy faith, you start seeing God move in crazy ways. My daughter started telling me the other day, she was like, Mommy, there was an angel in my room last night. I know, because I know there's angels here. I felt them. I've seen things move. I've seen different things happen that I can't explain by logic. I can't explain it. I've smelled a sweet aroma when I walk into my house, and I'm like, where is that sweet aroma? I've heard music that don't come from my head. I'm like, why do I think of this song? But in line with a prayer I just prayed. I'm telling you, I've seen the supernatural happen. I've seen it happen. And you open the door to the supernatural when you're radically obedient. It don't have to make sense to nobody but you and God, period. But God is never going to lead you. I'm telling you this, and I've seen God be faithful in these last 5 or 6 months of my life. I've seen him be faithful in such a way. Family, I mean, literally, somebody said an angel visits people for me. Angels are real. You can Google it, go on YouTube. There are people that have caught them on camera. Go look at it. I don't know what else you want. You may not want to believe that. That's fine. Do what you want. You think people over thousands upon thousands of years talking about the same God, talking about the same angels, talking about, you think that just happens for no reason? Look at an Amazon package. When they have bad reviews on Amazon, do people buy the Amazon package anymore? No. They don't. They stopped buying Amazon. Why? Because it has bad reviews. And you think that over time, if this God thing wasn't real or didn't have something to it, that people would be believing in God for thousands upon thousands of years? Hey guys, thank you for watching this video. I appreciate you guys. Go ahead, hit the subscribe button, y'all. Let's not just be every once in a while. Let's become family, okay? Friends that are family, okay? Join my family today.